What's going on, everyone? Man, it feels like a long time since I've mentioned or talked about Zach Lavine, right? But in all seriousness, reports came out that teams are still not calling, still don't really seem very interested in Zach Lavine. I'm a big Zach Lavine to the Lakers guy, still believe in Zach Lavine going to Lakers. I think it just makes the most sense. I think it's the highest ceiling raiser. It's the best singular trade that you can make. You can still go make other moves. Look, I've talked about the nuances and the ins and outs a million times, right? If you want to know, if you want my opinion on the salary or the contract, if you want the injury history, if you want on that, check out the videos that I've made time and time again, or simple Google search, again, will prove that you're wrong, right? If you're like Zach Lavine, injury prone, Google exists. If you think Zach Lavine defensively is terrible, again, Google exists. This season, he is having a bad defensive season, but he also has had to do everything for Chicago because he also doesn't have DeMar DeRozan to kind of offset and complement a lot of those things, right? Like, just look at his usage rating, look at all that other stuff besides then. But even then, right, Google what Zach Lavine defensively has done every season, and then look at the defensive ratings compared to the league average. He is either at or better than every season. I've answered every question, arguing against Zach Lavine, and I'm telling you, it'll be fine. Depth is great when you have depth. Lakers don't have depth. Who cares, right? Like, trade all these guys. Like, none of these guys are better than Zach Lavine. Zach Lavine is having a better season combined than D'Lo, Rui, and Gabe Vincent. The three guys you'd have to trade to go get him. Literally, he is more efficient than all three of those guys combined this year, right? Get rid of him. Who cares? And you can still go get a Dorian Finney-Smith, so you get your 3-and-D wing. You could still go get, a backup center in like a Day'Ron Sharpe or whatever. So there's your center position, right? If you're willing to trade Austin Reeves, which if you get Zach Lavine, I do think you should trade Austin Reeves. You could even go get a Dennis Schroeder or, a Bruce Brown or something like that. And now you're really cooking. But I think with all the news and information that has came out recently in the last few days, particularly with LeBron James, I just think more and more it is becoming apparent that the Lakers need to go get a guy like Zach Lavine. Right? LeBron James missed practice. He's expected to miss the game, or he's already ruled out for the game tomorrow. Now, it's cited for personal reasons. Of course, people are running rampant and speculating and going crazy, right? I think it's either A, probably personal reasons, or B, he's probably getting his foot looked at. Because he's had his foot issue for 3 weeks now, and it was bothering him, and he was supposed to sit out the other night and did it. Or not this previous game, because he did. I'm talking about the previous night, right? Like, he's been dealing with that foot soreness for a while now, and it's been a persistent issue for the last few seasons. So, makes sense that maybe he'd want to go get it looked at, evaluate, get it checked, right? And then, if you're the Lakers, you don't want that to get out. Whether you trade LeBron or not, you don't want them to find that out, right? Like, you might have foot issues, right? So, and then also if you're the Lakers, if LeBron's like going to be hobbled all season and on one leg, that could change the way that you go and make moves. That could change the way you go and make trades. Regardless, though, again, I just think you need Zach Lavine. Because think of how much pressure Zach Lavine would take off of LeBron James to have to go give you 30 every night. Now LeBron James gets to be your third guy. He gets to take possessions off. He gets to do what you've seen him do prior to this recent stretch where, Austin Reeves and D'Angelo Russell's out. Zach Lavine is having an insanely efficient season. The guy's giving you like 30 points every other game. Even his bad games, he's giving you like 15 to 18, right? His worst game of the season, like stat-wise, right? Like, that's what most people look at. They look at the stats and go, he didn't score 20. Like, right? He scored 11 points. People were complaining. He only scored 11 points. He had 9 rebounds, 9 assists in a win. And I think he had like a couple steals and stuff in that too. And he only had like 2 turnovers or 1 turnover, whatever it was, right? Like, yeah, he didn't need to go score 30 that game, right? Instead, he went and got you 9 assists and 9 rebounds, almost a triple-double, right? Like, he almost messed around and got a triple-double, right? But I just think Zach Lavine, you're seeing the issues with LeBron. You're seeing the struggles with LeBron. You're seeing the wear and tear already with LeBron. He's human. right? I don't think Father Time is fully caught up to him yet, but it's creeping, right? And we've seen him look worse in games this season than we've probably ever seen him look. I mean, he's had games where he's looked like awful. And a lot of it, he just doesn't have the youth and athleticism, right? Like a bad game for LeBron, even 5 years ago, was still like, all-time great stats for most stars. Like, it was insane. It's like, LeBron only had 23, 6, and 8. Like, what? Like, yeah, that's pretty good, right? Like, but for LeBron standards, it was awful, right? It was like, wow, he's pedestrian. Like, okay, like, I guess, like, 23, 6, and 8 is pedestrian. But, like, the point is that, like, now he doesn't have that explosiveness. He doesn't have the athleticism. He can still go get you 30 on any given night, but he can't do it every single night in and night out. And they need that go-to scorer. They need that guy that you can rely on. Austin Reeves isn't that. We've seen it. We've had the sample size. Right? LeBron James and Anthony Davis still, even with Austin Reeves playing, have to get you 60 a night just for you to be in the game. That's not even counting winning. We're not even talking about winning the game. We're talking about just being in the game. Right? He has to go and give you, collectively have to go give you 60. Right? Like, you need that guy that you can count on, that you know. The problem with Austin Reeves and D'Lo and Rui and these guys is you don't know which guy you're going to get. Right? Are you getting, 28 and 14 D'Lo? Or are you getting 8 and 4 D'Lo? Right, big difference. Are you getting the 25, 6 and 5 Austin Reeves? Or are you getting the 5, 2 and 2 with 7 turnover Austin Reeves? Right? Like, you don't know what you're going to get. Zach Lavine, Like, okay, I'm at least getting 15, 20 tonight. Right? Like, minimum. It's the questions of, like, what is he going to give me tonight are higher. It's like, is he going to give us 50 tonight? Or is he going to get, like, for the bettors out there, right? When you think Austin Reeves, usually it's like, okay, can he give me at least 10? Right? Like, and you're like, okay, that's great. Like, Zach Lavine, you're like, oh, you're going to give me at least, 15, 20. Right? Like, that's where the money's at. Right? Because, like, Zach Lavine giving you 10 is probably like a minus, 500. Right? Why? Because Zach Lavine's just, that's what he does. He's the bucket getter. He's go get your bucket. Give you athleticism. Give you perimeter defense. Again, he's not elite. He's not great, but he'd literally be our third best defensive player, which shows how bad our defense is. But it'd be still an upgrade defensively, but upgrade athletically, be upgraded skill-wise. He would be our best just natural scorer. Doesn't mean best player, but natural scorer. Shoot on over the top, catch shoot, off dribble, pull up, transition, right? Rim pressure, dunk, everything, right? Like, he's got the entire bag. He can do it all, right? Like, he on most nights could be your best or second best guy, right? Behind Anthony Davis. LeBron James still going to go get his 20, but now he can pick and choose. You probably cut his minutes down. Probably doesn't have to play 35 minutes a game now. Like, you're watching LeBron essentially deteriorate and are in front of our eyes, and people are like, nah, Zach Lavine, bad decision. Right? Okay, if that's then trade LeBron, trade Anthony Davis, rebuild. Like, either pick a direction, right? Because, look, I love the idea of Dorian Finney-Smith, Dennis Schroeder, Day'Ron Sharpe, right? Like, cool, that's great. If we have a one-legged LeBron, we're not winning anything with that. At least Zach Lavine gives you the firepower to keep up and kind of take some pressure and some wear and tear off of LeBron. Getting anybody else is not going to take the pressure and the wear and tear off of LeBron. It's not. It's not going to do it. Dorian Finney-Smith is not going to go, as much as I talk about Dorian Finney-Smith, as much as I want Dorian Finney-Smith, he's not a guy that's going to take pressure off of LeBron having to give you 30 every night. The only guy that there's available right now that doesn't break the bank is Zach Lavine. Go get Zach Lavine. He's the only guy that can save LeBron James right now. You're literally watching LeBron James fall apart, and people are like, nah, Zach Lavine ain't the answer. Right? Like, are we trying to win a championship or are we not? If we're not, then fine. Retool, rebuild, trade guys, start over. If we are, you got to go get Zach Lavine. You do. You have to go get Zach Lavine. It's just, I don't know why more people, I mean, more and more, don't get me wrong, a lot of people are starting to like come on board. I get comments like daily from people that are like, you know what, Tyler, I hated it. I thought you were crazy, but you're right. I don't know why everybody doesn't see this at this point. Like, it's like mind-boggling to me, right? That more people don't want Zach. Like, Zach Lavine should be like a no-brainer. Like, the Lakers probably should have been done that. Right? The only reason, it's like, oh, why hasn't it done yet? Because it's not going anywhere, right? Like, the Lakers aren't in a rush. Like, if you're the Lakers, you're in a position, like, again, I talk about it all the time, be patient, right? Like, no one's trading for Zach Lavine because no one needs Zach Lavine outside of the Lakers, right? All the teams that do need it aren't trying to contend. They're all terrible teams, right? Or they all already have their guy. Like, how many teams actually need Zach Lavine? Lakers are one of the few teams. Like, Miami's probably another team that makes a lot of sense for Zach Lavine. But they might be losing Jimmy Butler. They don't know what they're doing, right? Like, Lakers, it's like, you got LeBron James, you got Anthony Davis. Go get Zach Lavine, save the season. It's simple. It's crazy. The injury history, all that stuff. The guy's played 77 games, 67 games, all of it, right? The injury history is blown out of proportion. His contract is not that bad, right? LeBron James was willing to take $20 million less this past offseason. You don't think he'd do that again? Right? Like, he was willing to, the salary cap could go up as much as 10% next season, right? Like, even if it goes up like 5 or 6 million, like, there's free up your mid-level exception, right? Or taxpayer mid-level exception, right? LeBron could free up your full mid-level exception. Like, you're fine. Go get Zach Lavine. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Agree with me? Disagree with me? Kind of mixed in the middle? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.